There's more to it than just a scar on the cheek to make a 12-inch G.I. Joe a Hasbro Joe line action figure. I'm going to take a look at this vintage 60s action soldiers of the world French resistance fighter figure in this episode. As you look at this figure, the detail to accessories, the clothing, it's almost hard to imagine these were made as a kid's toy in the 60s. I'm Tim from Toy Tinker Tim, and let's take a closer look at this figure. There was a mix of 6 Axis and Allies made to represent World War II soldiers from different countries to the same level of detail and accuracy as Hasbro's U.S. World War II 12-inch Joe line. 5 of the 6 figures in the line had the same head sculpt with different hair and eye colors. The Japanese soldier was the one figure in that line that had the unique features. So the head sculpts for this line were created by Virginia Garden. She did the soldier. She also did the GI nurse. And later, after leaving Hasbro, she went on to work independently as a sculptor, most notably creating sculptures of different dog breeds. Her work was available as pewter pieces. Interesting enough, despite the varied background of these soldiers that we see here, the line first launched with the same G.I. Joe head sculpts before the ones created by Virginia were put into production. The counterintelligence manual here that would come with the figures in the line measures just over 3 3/4 inches wide, and it measures like 4 5/8 high. So the booklet gives you an overview, a little bit of detail on each of the figures in the line, and a little bit detail too on accessories that each one of those carried. Figures were sold in deluxe set with all the accessories, or you could get the boxed figure only, dressed in their uniforms, and then a carded set, which would have all the respective accessories for the soldiers. So going over the assembly of accessories he came with, he has the machine gun. It's a 7.65 submachine gun and marked made in Japan on the shoulder stock. And also we have his holster in a brown plastic type vinyl material. Later these were remolded into the black, which were used for the Adventure Team G.I. Joe line of figures. And he has his beret. It's a very flexible, rubbery type plastic, heavily textured with a fabric-like appearance. I've dusted the inside of this with some cornstarch just to prevent wear from being on the figure's head. We have his knife. I had to do a little bit of touch-up work here on this knife. It's kind of it's kind of pointy. The tip of it is a little bit sharp. His revolver, again used in the Adventure Team G.I. Joe line figures there. It's a Lebel revolver. From what I've been able to find, that was really a French World War I guess, first used. Then just a comparison here to show the shoulder holster and revolver from this figure and carrying over to the Adventure Team G.I. Joe line. Same holster, different plastic material colors. Revolver's the same. The grip on the revolver seemed to be a little bit different in the Adventure Team one. I don't know if that's really just from mold wear, you know, the use of the molds, where it's got a little bit of a different look, or if there really was a machined change into that holster grip, or the grip on the pistols, I should say. His medal, his military cross of war, it is a metal medal. It's kind of interesting. And little prongs up, you kind of slide it up to attach into the sweater, into the weave there. Some detailed pictures of that. His camouflaged field radio. Again, here it's marked made in Japan. Nice little detail here, you know, with the little lines running from the telegraph key, headphone, and inset decal on the inside of the lid. Little compartments to hold the Morse code keypad and the headphones. Grenades that were standard, pretty much used throughout the 12-inch G.I. Joe line there. A lot of nice little details sculpted into those. His pants, like a denim blue jean material, but unlike the Adventure Team G.I. Joe, the Sailor, these are straight leg jeans. And inside the tag is also marked that they are made in Japan. The black knit sweater, you know, it's a pretty cool little thing to me. You know, this miniature knit sweater material. It's a nice touch. It's something kind of neat. Tagged again inside there that it was made in Japan. And then top them off here, or bottom them off, it's his low top black boots. Again, the style low black boot, common use in the Adventure Team line for all the figures there. So as you can see here, there's a great amount of detail packed into this figure. There's been a lot of work too in restoring this figure and the gear for this episode. So much, in fact, I've put together a separate video here that's going to cover all those details and the process I went through to get this into the condition you see here. So be sure to keep an eye out for that episode here as well. I'll update this one with a link here for that. That's my look here at this vintage Hasbro G.I. Joe Action Soldiers of the World French Resistance Fighter. And as always, thanks for watching and checking out the channel here at Toy Tinker Tim.